What is going on, guys? And it's D-Free. Welcome back to another video here on Duel Links Central. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We're going to go ahead and talk about the upcoming structure decks that are coming to Duel Links. So Duel Links is apparently incorporating structure decks. Of course, if you guys play the OCG or TCG, you are familiar with the concept. Basically, long story short, it is a deck that may or may not be meta. In this case, it's not going to be meta, of course, but it's a viable deck for you to go out and purchase either with gems or in real life money, whatever you prefer to do. It's obviously your game and your money, but it's a viable way for you to do that and be able to play the game, basically. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at them here. There is a video. It's not officially up on the Konami page, but there's I think this is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links page, or not a Duel Links page, just a regular Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG page. So they have the video entirely in Japanese. They're going to show off the deck list and stuff like that. I don't have a way to really translate it. It's kind of like that other Duel Links video that came out a while ago for the Crimson Kingdom set, where they basically show all the different combos, but they're, long story short, showing gameplay. There is a Spellcaster focused deck and a Dragon focused deck as well. Of course, those guys have been getting a lot of support. Just those two different archetypes have been getting a lot of support lately in the game, which may or may not be a good thing, but they're getting a lot of support here. And he's dueling against Kaiba. I think each deck has one specific card that is an SR exclusive. So yeah, there is. If you look right over here, there's this SR card. It's the cover card, I'm assuming. The rest of this deck is pretty much R cards. It is cool to get a couple more copies of Neo, because I believe that card is limited at 1 at this point in the game, because you get it as a free copy in Yugi structure deck or in Yugi starter deck, one of those two. I don't know, whenever you get the character, or just through level ups for somebody, I forget. Either way, it is cool to get a couple more, because he's very good in Power of Dark decks. He gets to be a 1900 beater in those decks. The equipped cards aren't very good in my opinion. Rope of Life, and I think that's Soul Rope, whatever that card is, could be very good. We're going to take a look at some of the newer cards as well, and go ahead and break them down in a moment. So let's go ahead and kind of fast forward here to the Dragon stuff. If you want to check out this video in its entirety, I will leave it linked down below for you to check it out and kind of watch some of the combos and how the deck is played. So here we have the Dragon deck. It does feature Komori dragons. And I think that card the next to it is called Hunter Dragon. I believe it's a 3-star 1700 dragon monster. So under Mountain, it could be a 1900 beater too. So that's really good that they're incorporating those cards too. They're not super OP. They're very similar to the last couple cards I talked about, are very akin to cards like Sonic Duck, that under a field spell could become really good. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the new cards, courtesy of the Duel Links Reddit, which, by the way, if you're not following the Duel Links Reddit or subscribed over there, go ahead and do so. It's a cool community that I actually check out a lot. So go ahead and interact with these people over here. So so the first one that we have a post here featuring all of the new cards, and actually a clickable link. I love you for that. Rope of Life is the first one. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Rope of Life. It says, Rope of Life is when a monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, discard your entire hand. You have to have a minimum of 1 card, then target one of those monsters, special summon it, and if you do, it gains 800 attack. So when a monster is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you get rid of your whole hand, then you choose 1 card that was a monster among the cards that was destroyed or sent to the graveyard, and you get to special summon it to the field, whichever position you prefer. I'm assuming it doesn't specify, and it gains 800. So say you're I don't want to say Kidmodo Blue Eyes, but say your Red Eyes Wyvern was destroyed. You get to discard your whole hand, and say there's a Red Eyes in your hand. From my understanding, you get to bring out the Red Eyes again, and it gains 800 attack. It's a very roundabout way of playing, but if you only have 1, maybe 2 cards in your hand, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But I will say it's always a minus card, because you're always discarding to be able to special summon. But at the same time, you are bringing out a monster that would be stronger than it would have been if you summoned it normally, you know, throughout traditional means of either special summoning or tribute summoning or whatever. So it would be stronger in that regard, but you do give up your whole hand. That may or may not be a bad thing, because you do start off with 4 cards if you start off in the beginning of the duel. Either way, you know, most of the time you kind of play without a hand, to be honest, in my opinion, especially if you're playing like Last Gamble. You just ditch your hand already. So we'll have to see what happens. A very cool card. I don't think it really changes the meta, though. We have Destructive Jaw, which I don't know. It remains to be seen. Like, I think that card could be solid in maybe like Gravekeepers. We'll see. Destructive Draw. Is that Jaden? Or Judai. I feel like this is one of those cards that came out around that time period. Okay, if either player has no cards in their hand at the start of their draw phase, Oh, this card combos with the other card we just looked at. They can draw one more card in addition to their normal draw, so you get 2 draws. This card's controller loses 700 life points during their end phase. If less than 700, they become 0 instead. So you instantly lose if you're less than 700, which makes sense. When this face-up card is removed from the field, inflict 3,000 damage to the player who controlled it. Okay, so if you're this card is actually really good. For the exact reason I was just saying. A lot of times, I mean, unless you play with decks that are very draw-heavy, featuring Crystal Seers, maybe Shards of Greed, whatever the case is, I know from my experience, I tend to play without a hand, and that may or may not be a bad thing because I like to prefer to set things down. This could be a very good card for somebody like me to where you get to draw an additional card. So the problem with this card is that it's for either player. That's the one downside of this. It's not just you getting to do it. So your opponent can get to do that too. And if you're in a situation where you're top decking a card, this is a very, very good card for that regard. That's why it has that 700 stipulation on it, because if you fall too low, you're going to instantly lose. If you're top decking. So we'll have to see how this card impacts things. But I think this card is a very, very viable card. There's not a whole lot of back row destruction. I mean, Storm, Harpy's Underground, there's not a whole lot, but there is some. So it may be kind of tough to protect this thing. You may have to, of course, play it in certain scenarios, maybe not against certain decks. We'll have to see, but I think that could be a very good card in the game. Spell Wall is the next one we're going to take a look at. So Spell Wall is a spell card. I've actually never seen this one. The Croatian name given is not official. Oh, okay. That's cool. Activate one of these effects. Your opponent takes no further damage this turn. During this turn, no special summon of a Spellcaster-type monster can be negated. And when a Spellcaster-type monster is summoned, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. Ooh. Target one Spellcaster-type monster you control. If it attacks this turn, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. Huh. But see, the problem is they don't take any damage. There's not really much point in attacking. All it does is it would stop you from being able to destroy their monster. But on top of that, they can't stop you from summoning a Spellcaster monster. This could be very good in a Dark Magician deck. We'll have to see, but that's actually not a bad card. It lets you choose whichever of those two you want. It's not a bad card at all. It's just you can't beat them that turn because that monster can't inflict any damage. In fact, I don't think any of your monsters. Yeah, your opponent takes no further damage that turn. It doesn't even specify if it's like burn damage. It just says no damage. It's a cool way to protect your monster if you're scared of like an econ or something like that, but I don't really think it's too much necessary in decks. So we have Trance the Magic Swordsman. I think this is the featured card. It is, okay. So this is the card that is on the cover. So he's a 6-star 2600 beater. Wow, he's very powerful. I like his art too. He looks like Neo a bit with that sword. I don't really have much to read. A peculiar magician with considerable abilities. Supposedly he's just returned from a trip to outer space. Okay. I like him. He's pretty cool. Magical Undertaker. All right, so this card is flip effect. Okay, you can target one level 4 or lower spellcaster monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. That's actually very good. That can combo very, very well with like Legion of Fiend Gesture. That can combo very well with him. And then when he's destroyed or whatever the case is, you get to search out again. That's a good wall defensively. If you're like low on cards, you're top decking, you have that card, you play it, your opponent has 2 monsters, he destroys it, and then you get to bring out Legion onto the field. Legion gets destroyed, you get to search your deck for something, maybe a Neo. It's not a bad card. This is actually a very good card. It's actually really good. So I would definitely get the structure deck, honestly, just for that card. We'll have to see what else is in here, though. Wattle Dragon? Whatever. Oh, it's one word, too. It's a normal monster, though. 2,500 6-star monster. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. I don't want to. I think this is the other tab. Okay, cool. So it's just a powerful monster. And we have Heretic, whatever. Don't care. Heretic Dragon of Nuit. And once returned during either player's turn, when this face-up card on the field is targeted by a spell, trap, or card effect, special summon one dragon-type normal monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard to make its attack and defense. Oh. This card is actually really good. When it gets targeted with something, you get to special summon a dragon monster out. The problem with that is that it loses all of its attack and defense, but that's not a bad thing. Say, for example, you're running Blue Eyes Ultimate. You can just pop out a Blue Eyes, and maybe you have the other 2 in your hand or whatever. This thing isn't bad. I think there's definitely some room for this thing. And it also can act as tribute fodder, too. Whatever you bring out can be tribute fodder for something else. And it's also during either player's turn. If you do it during your turn, you could... Wow, this card is actually really good. But I think this card would be 10 times better if you had a main phase 2, which we don't have. Maybe in the future we'll get it, though. But that card's very good. Definitely. This Spellcaster deck is really good. Tyrant Wing. Hey, isn't that, what's his face? Heramos? Isn't that Heramos? Or Critias? No, I think it's Critias. Either way, correct me if I'm mistaken. Target one dragon-type monster on the field. Equip this card to it. It gains 400 attack and defense. Okay, so any dragon. Also, it can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. Wow. Once per turn during the end phase, if the monster equipped this card by this effect, attack an opponent's monster this turn, destroy. So it can attack 2 monsters, but if it attacks and destroys a monster, you get to destroy that monster. Okay. Huh. All right. So that's a thing. It's not a bad card. I think it's a card that you use in a last resort kind of thing. Like, okay, this is going to be the last end of the duel. I'm going to play it. So, Dragon's Rebirth. Is it like... Wait, no. I don't think there's any differentiation. Okay, no. It's starting to show me... That's right. It's showing me like... He's showing me... There's not a break between what's the Spellcaster stuff and what's the Dragon stuff. That's why I'm seeing a lot of Dragon cards lately. Okay. And those are the other ones that are in the deck, but aren't featured or played. All right. I'm assuming in the video. Target one Dragon-type monster you control. Banish that target, and if you do, special summon one Dragon-type monster from your hand or graveyard. Oh, this is really good. This is really good. This is really, really good. Dragon's Rebirth is really freaking good for Dragon decks. Oh, my God. Just imagine turning your Mirage Dragon into a Blue Eyes. Oh man, especially with Dark Flare Dragon's ability to mill dragons from your deck, and you could just bring out a Kid Moto or whatever. You could use this card into Kid Moto, pop Kid Moto into another dragon. Man, or Dark Flare. Man, this thing is really good. This card is really good. I think that these structure decks, I don't think that in their entirety they're very good, but they do have some very solid cards that can be viably used among other meta decks. You can tribute one level 5 or higher monster to tribute summon a level 7 or higher monster. Oh, okay, that's cool. I guess it allows you to tribute 1 card instead of tributing 2 for a monster that would traditionally require 2. Okay, new cards featured in the deck but not played. So Felgrand Dragon. We'll go ahead and open all these up. Exploder, Hunter Dragon, a man with Wajat, Advanced Zone, and Soul Rope is the last one. Okay. Rope of Life, Soul Rope, and Dragon's Rebirth all have huge potential. There are some really good cards here. Felgrand Dragon, I think, is the other cover dragon for the other deck. Cannot be special summoned except from the graveyard. So Dragon's Rebirth, or whatever that thing was called, works very well with this guy. It's like a monster reborn for dragons. I mean, there is a minus on it because you have to tribute your monster, but either way, it's not that big of a deal. It's definitely a 1-for-1. And only if it was sent to the graveyard from the field. Okay, so it can only be special summoned from the graveyard if it was sent to the graveyard from the field. So it can actually be played traditionally. If this card is special summoned, however, target one monster in your graveyard. This card gains attack equal to that monster's level times 200. So it has to go on the field, then be destroyed by a monster or something. And then it can be special summoned back through the effect of another card. And then when you do that, you get to target something and it gets stronger. Very roundabout card. Don't think it's too good in this game. I feel like it could be solid in Dragon decks, any TCG. But the problem with this thing is it needs to hit the field first. So not a whole lot of potential in my opinion. But you guys can correct me if I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm misreading something. Maybe I'm not understanding something or missing something. That's totally plausible. I am not perfect. So for Exploder Dragon, I used to have this thing. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, destroy the monster that destroyed it. Oh, so he's a Yomi ship. Okay. Neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving this attacking card. So if that thing attacks into it, so it can suicide attack and you don't take any damage from it. Wow, that's very good. It negates the whole necessity of like Yomi ship. Yomi ship you traditionally play in defense mode, and sometimes the monster won't even kill Yomi ship because it has a pretty solid defense under like Legendary Ocean or Umi. But this thing can suicide attack in. That's not bad. Say there's a powerful monster on the opponent's side of the field, and maybe you fusion summon and get your own powerful monster out, but you can't get over that other monster the opponent has. You can run into that thing and you don't take any damage. And then you can hit them directly if they don't have anything else. Wow, this thing is really good. Very solid. Hunter Dragon, like I said, is that 1700 beater, like I said earlier in the video. Nothing really special there. A man with Wajat. Ooh, is that a Millennium Eye? Very old card, though. I remember this card. Or Millennium symbol, not eye. When you normal summon this card, and during each of your standby phases, select one set card on your opponent's side of the field, pick it up and look at it, then return it to its original position. Ooh. He's a 1600 monster. Attack and defense. So he's very solid under Power of Dark with the Yami card out there. The Power of Knowledge goes a long way, which is what makes Mind Scan so good. So you can go ahead and... This guy's basically a Mind Scan. So that's pretty cool, actually. But you can only do one card per turn. So that's the downside. But it's still very valuable, and he's not weak. 1800 attack and defense is very solid. Okay, if I recall correctly, this card has a bunch of gimmicky effects. So once per turn during your end phase of any turn in which you tribute summoned a monster, you can apply these effects in sequence based on the number of monsters you tributed for tribute summons this turn. One or more destroy one set card your opponent controls. Could be monster or not. Apparently, it just says set. 2 or more, you get to draw a card. 3 or more, add one monster from your graveyard to your hand. So if you're attributing 2 monsters, you get to draw a card. If you're attributing 3 monsters, you can add one monster from your graveyard to your hand. You're pretty much always never going to be able to use that one unless you have a monster that requires 3 tributes or can use 3 tributes, like Gravekeeper's Oracle, Guilford the Lightning. There are different things. There's like another monster in there. I think that was like 2,800 attack. 2 or more... I don't really see a whole lot of potential here. I mean, this could be solid in Gravekeeper decks because there's a lot of Gravekeeper Chief and stuff like that and Soul Exchange. It could be very viable there. I just don't think it makes the deck any better, in my opinion. It could be good if you get to destroy back row. That's about it. Not a bad card, though. Soul Rope is the last card we're going to take a look at here, ladies and gentlemen. When a monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, so something akin to Order to Charge, and sent to the graveyard, except during the damage step, pay 1,000 life points, special summon 1 level 4 monster from your deck. So when it's destroyed, you get to pay life points and bring out any level 4 you want. Not bad, especially if you're bringing out something like Legion or Dragon Summoner. That's another search. Or has to be level 4, actually. It doesn't say 4 or lower. So takes out some of the options. Level 4 isn't that bad, but 4 or lower would have been a lot better. You could have put this in Gravekeeper decks and brought out the Gravekeeper Chief, not Chief, excuse me, Recruiter, and went on from there. So it's not a bad card either. All in all, I don't think that... It just depends on what they're going to do, how many gems they're going to want for this. I don't think that these decks are bad. I don't think they're too great, but they will be something you can play with and have fun with. They're very cohesively built for the meta of this game, and it is cool to get new cards. So let me know in the comment section whether or not you're going to invest in this, whether it's actual money or in-game pearls, whatever the case is. Let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like I said, if you are new to the Duel Links Central channel, this is my Duel Links based channel. I will be doing other Yu-Gi-Oh based things in the next coming weeks or so. So be on the lookout for that and have an awesome day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.